Hi everyone, my name is Robert and you're watching That's the Movie. So today I'm reviewing Sex Tape. Sex Tape is a movie that stars Jason Segel and Cameron Diaz. It is a comedy about a couple who used to be so in love when they first started. Their sex life was constantly very active when they were in college. But once, children came along, it was very rare for them to have any sexual activity whatsoever. So Cameron Diaz thought that her good idea was that they should film a sex tape. And it was like 3 hours of them trying a bunch of different positions in this book from the 70s. And then they filmed it on their iPad. But accidentally, Jason Segel's character somehow uploaded it into the cloud, and it got shared with a bunch of different iPads that he had linked to his own. I was, surprised once or twice throughout the whole movie, but mostly I knew exactly how this movie was going to be and how it would feel at the very end. And I'm kind of sad that I was right about that, because I really like Jason Segel, and I know the previous movie that this director worked on, Jake Kasdan, he worked on Bad Teacher, and that movie I had high expectations for that movie, but it turned out to just fall flat. It was really a not funny movie whatsoever, and I was hoping maybe with his next movie it would be a lot better, but no, it wasn't. I was wrong, and it turned out to be just ugh. One thing I will say is that in the middle of this movie, Rob Lowe is in this movie. He plays a boss of Cameron Diaz. He's trying to get this contract with this company, and they go to his house. And just that whole 20 to 30 minute area between just them being at Rob Lowe's character's house, it was really funny. I liked that part. Every now and then, even then, it had some really dumb jokes that the writers thought were funny. It's written by Jason Segel, along with Nicholas Stoller and Kate Angelo. And some of these writers have worked on, big shows. They've written for Will and Grace and New Girl and different things like that. And I expected big things from this, I expected it to be a good movie. I mean, Nicholas Stoller himself, he wrote tons of movies. Let me see, he wrote Yes Men. That movie wasn't really funny. He wrote Fun with Dick and Jane. Okay, now I see a pattern. But I still had high expectations from it, and I was hoping that, after I figured out that these writers that they were attached to this movie, I was kind of sad that this didn't turn out as it should have been, It could have been funny, it could have been a much funnier movie, but it just kind of dragged on, and I didn't really enjoy it. This movie did have its moments, and again, the time that I really found it funny was probably from beginning to middle. The very beginning is not that funny, it's not very funny, really doesn't hit its high note until sort of midway, or entering the middle of the movie. That's when it was really funny. But besides that, the movie everything else was just kind of all over the place. And I even saw it in some of the actors. Jason Segel especially, who's somebody who comedy comes easy to him in any movie I've seen. Even if the movie's bad, he can definitely pull off the comedic timing and everything. But the jokes are just bad. I don't know if they're written by him, specifically the ones that he had for his character, or they're written by the other two that also wrote this movie, but a lot of the jokes you can tell he tried saying them and it kind of looked like he was trying to be funny, but they weren't really that funny. And the same thing happened to Cameron Diaz. Cameron Diaz is actually pretty good with comedy, but somehow in this movie, all these actors didn't shine. I really did enjoy it. Really the only one who did shine was Rob Lowe, and he was just playing a sort of crazier character than he had on Parks and Recreation. Anyways, if you really want to see this movie, go ahead. If you don't really care about it and you just want to see it because Jason Segel, Cameron Diaz, you found that funny, go and see it. But I don't recommend seeing it. I mean, it's a movie that I can guarantee will get a lot of, will do decent at the box office the day it's released. A lot of people will enjoy it. But go check out the movie if you want, but I suggest you don't. You guys can start following me on Tumblr, Twitter, Instagram, or Facebook at TheRealRobertAH, and actually on Instagram it's RobertAlfonsoHidalgo, so just my whole full name, and you'll find it there. I decided to change it. And on YouTube you can look up more of our videos right now, actually the reviews I've done, and go on to SashaMarinaShow.com, and you can look up under topics, That's the Movie, and find a podcast, and as well as more reviews and anything related to our show, and That's the Movie. And yeah, you guys can check out the podcast actually every Monday at 12 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And it's just a podcast that I do with Sasha, sometimes on my own, and I just talk about movie news. That's it. Just really movie news and what's happening. Any updates on especially stuff like Star Wars all the time. And yeah, you can check that out. And check out our app at Google Play and BlackBerry World. It's a Sasha Marina Show app, and it just keeps you updated on anything we're doing with the show. So yeah, that's the movie.